Hey Muskegon, want to help dreams take flight and create future leaders? Since 2017, Kids Free Trip to Africa has sent over 40 amazing local students to Africa. And guess what? The 2025 program is set to send 7 more deserving teens to Ghana and Egypt. But we need your help. Imagine these bright young minds exploring ancient wonders, from the majestic pyramids to historical slave castles. This isn't just a trip, it's a life-changing education, inspiring the next generation of leaders and dreamers. Every single donation counts. Visit our GoFundMe page at 2025, Kids Free Trip to Africa, or call 231-727-5007 to contribute. Let's keep this incredible tradition going and watch these kids soar.
Peace and blessings, family. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and live on 103.7 The Beat. I am the Triple OG PA inside the drive at 5. You heard from Michael Pine from Health West inside the 4 o'clock hour. We're talking about mental health. Well, we're going up a notch. We got some beautiful brothers in the studio. They got an excellent conversation coming up about mental health. We want to introduce to everybody. They know these guys. I'm just saying they hanging with me today for a few minutes. We got Dave Davis in the building. Dave?
Hey, what's up? What's up, yeah? Thanks for having me.
Brother Flurry Jackson, how you doing today, brother?
Good to see you.
All right, good to see y'all, man. 2 handsome kings right here in the building with me. Make me look good. You know what I mean? But welcome to the show. Barbershop 2. The conversation in the barbershop is coming up next month. What can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so we last year we had a great turnout at this event. And I want to shout out to Rail and the Lake Small Premium Drip for hosting this. But we had a great turnout last year, and the feedback has been great. And I've been getting a lot of people asking, when are we doing the next one? And so the need was there, and so we're gonna run it back. And I got my brother here, Flurry, who's also a licensed therapist, and we are going to facilitate that conversation on June 21st from 5 to 7 p.m.
So both of you brothers are in the mental health field?
Yep, both of us are licensed therapists. Yep.
Wow. How long you been a therapist, Flurry?
I've been a therapist now for 6 years.
Wow. I'm thinking you're a barber, man. I'm thinking you're a stylist. That's dope, man. So, and how long you been doing it, Dave?
5. So I got my master's degree in 2020, right during COVID.
Wow.
Start of COVID. Mm-hmm.
Look at this, Muskegon. So you guys are giving guys a platform to talk, right?
Yes. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And Flurry, what made you get involved?
I'm so thankful for the opportunity. Brother David Davis reached out to me last year when he had this event, and I was out of town with my wife on vacation, and I wasn't able to make it, but I heard about how wonderful it was. So he reached out to me again this year, and I was interested to be a part of it as an attendee last year, and I was blessed that he offered me an opportunity to be a co-facilitator. Mental health is near to my heart, especially in my community. So I thought it was a wonderful opportunity to be a bridge and to really connect with some brothers and have some in-depth conversations about things that need to be had.
It's coming up on June the 21st, next month, from 5 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. Do you want people to sign up in advance? Or what?
You know what? It's just come as you are, man. I thought about doing a registration thing, but I think I like the you know, how it was organic last year, where people just kind of showed up as they were. So I really want to keep that and capture that essence. So you just come and we're gonna have food. We're gonna give away journals again, and really talk about some of the things that's kind of affecting us as Black men specifically.
And I want to ask you guys, what start with you, Brother Flurry. What are you seeing? Some of the things that we as Black men are dealing with.
Yeah. One of the things Brother Dave and I talked about last week was the relationships, the relational piece. And sometimes I think we struggle as a community and as Black men with relational malnutrition. So we're not fulfilling ourselves with the right relationships and engaging in the right systems and structures to promote a healthy well-being. We are kind of promoting and having relationships with things that bring us down. So I'm hoping to get with the guys and talk about our different relationships we operate in, how that impacts our identity.
Well, Dave, the first time you did it, what was some of the what was the major conversation that you was hearing? Was there any common denominators there in the mental health field for Black brothers?
Yes, it was a lot of common denominators. I think overarching theme was we do not seek out professional help when needed. And we oftentimes talk to our friends and family, but as I mentioned last time we had an interview, it's really important that you seek out professional help with, is unbiased. And we are, as therapists, we are trained to, and ethically we can't share like information with anyone else, and that's really that integrity is really important. And so I think we do it. The biggest thing was we don't open up, and we hold it in, and then by the time it's too much, now we negatively affected. Now we using other means of coping instead of like the positive things, right?
Oh wow,
So
powerful.
mhm.
Brother Flurry, what made you get in the mental health field?
For me, I think I saw a need growing up. For me, not having the language or the confidence to articulate what I was going through, to express what I was going through, and so seeing that need as I grew up, and then as I moved away to college, I recognized that I had a heart for people, a heart for working with people, and I knew that it was a need a gap and a need that needed to be fulfilled. So I got into being a social worker and a therapist because I love working with people and because I love community. And I also know my own experience with mental health as a therapist.
Wow. There's a lot of stigma around mental health in the Black community.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's getting better. Is this thing getting better that we need to get help?
Mhm.
That hurt people.
Mhm.
And we need to stop that hurting part, get some
Yep.
treatment. What is your perspective? Are we getting better as a society on this?
I think things like this are offering Black men to have more of that conversation. So I think, I don't know as far as the grand scheme of things, but I think in this community alone, just having this conversation is progress, and
Mhm.
more people are having that conversation. I wish, PA, you could have been a part of that last event, because there were some intimate things that were shared, and you could feel it. You felt it in the room. It was powerful. And so I think just having that insight, as the just having this conversation is progress, and it's progressing, and the more we talk about it, and the word has gotten out, so more people are interested in it, which means more people are looking to have that conversation about mental health.
We go to the board. Brother Cleveland Collins said, culturally interesting young men. Thank you, Brother Cleveland. Will Robertson, definitely a conversation that needs to be had. Kudos to you, brothers, for getting that conversation started. Mental health issues are real in our community. We need to remove the negative stipulations attached to mental health. No one wants to be considered crazy. That word has to be gone. What are your thoughts on that? When somebody go get help, oh, he crazy. How do we get rid of that stigma?
I was talking to somebody last week, and they said out of their mouth that language shapes reality. So I think for our culture and community, it's important that we are advocates not only for ourselves but for each other, to seek out mental health help. Not to say whether we're crazy or not, but just to be able to manage and to be able to promote a healthy well-being. So I would just say we would try to remove that word from our vocabulary, especially while addressing each other, especially if we want to advocate for each other and ourselves.
Because it used to be a funny word back in the day. Now it's not funny.
Not at all.
You know what I mean? It's serious. Chief Mosain said, great conversation. Who should show up next month for this?
Listen, I want to have everyone. I was specifically Black men, and I want to make sure we keep that, protect that space for Black men. I know I've run into a lot of women who want to kind of join. I would love to be a fly on the wall and hear a conversation, right? Which I think that there is a place for that, but I do think I want to make sure we are protecting that space for Black men, because we don't have a lot of spaces like that.
Exactly, and we tend to be kind of withdrawn when other people in the room.
Exactly, that's really important.
Some things I'm gonna say to you guys, I might not say to some other folks, because I know you're gonna get it. You know what I mean? You're gonna get it, and it won't be judged.
And when I say protect that space, that's exactly what I mean by that.
Yes,
Master social worker. What did that mean to people that see that MSW?
Man,
I know it means a lot of hard work, right?
A lot of hard work,
paperwork.
a lot of papers, a lot of studying. It's a grind. And traditionally, social work was traditionally a woman dominated field.
Mhm.
And so I was like one of the only few black men in my program,
Mhm.
which I embraced that though. Like I want to change that narrative.
Mhm.
And I'm sure Fleury had kind of had
Same
that same
thing.
experience. So with that MSW, it's more of representation of the change that we want to see. You know, growing up in this community, we didn't have, I don't remember one therapist, black
Mhm.
male therapist that, you know, and so that was really important to
Mhm.
me. So that's what that MSW stands for myself. And I'm sure
The same
Fleury can
thing for
relate
me.
to that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Wow. And what happens if somebody like they confine in you like, hey, I've been touched by my
Mhm.
my mother's boyfriend.
Mhm.
As a social worker, are you obligated to report that to the police then?
Yeah, so we are mandated reporters,
Mhm.
right? And so if that did come up, if you know, I always tell my clients, if you know, it's as long if you tell me that you're going to hurt someone or that someone's hurting you, I'm obligated to report that.
Mhm.
And I typically report that with them with me, just so it's not breaking the therapeutic relationship.
Okay.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Wow. And I know that's probably a tough one, isn't it?
It is. It's
Mhm.
one of the hardest things in this field, actually. I would
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Wow. What kind of advice do you give to men who just scared of opening up? They scared of peeling back the pages of things that they might have been suppressing for decades. What can you share with them? Either both of y'all.
Yep.
Mhm.
One of the things I'll say always to men is to take your time to express yourself. So make sure you take the time to reflect on how you're feeling at that moment, how you felt when whatever situation occurred, and how you want to feel moving forward. I would say also for the men to recognize there are different forms of communication. So whether that's writing or recording yourself or maybe drawing a picture, find a way to get it out though. And it's important to do it in a safe space. Have multiple safe spaces that you can call as like sanctuaries to protect your being and protect your space.
Mhm.
Wow.
I would say for me, when you ask that question, the first thing that comes to my mind, and a lot of what we talked about last year, was being vulnerable is actually a strength.
Yes, sir.
It's a strength. And a lot of people, like, you know, like brother Will said, is, you know, that is along the lines of, you know, calling it crazy. It's not. It's the fact that you can be vulnerable and open up and share that is actually a strength of, you know, and it can be perceived as weakness, but in return, that think about how much strength you have to share that with somebody,
Right.
something that's deeply affecting you. That's what I think, and I try to get that message across to you know, the black men that I interact with.
Wow, this is gonna be powerful conversation. Barbershop part 2. Question for you guys:
Mhm.
should a man open up to a woman about things that might have happened to them as a kid? Say they've been molested, and they
Mhm.
meet somebody that they love
Yeah.
and they trust. Is that something? Because I don't talk to people who said it was held against them, and I talked to men who said, you know, they didn't feel comfortable. I talked to men who it messed them up in relationships because they didn't deal with
Hmm.
the molestation part, didn't know how to treat women, didn't know how to trust.
Yep.
You know, and it, can you guys elaborate on it? Because we know 1 out of 3 women have been molested by the age of 18. I don't know what the
Mhm.
numbers is now, or for men, it's
Yep.
probably 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5, but it's
Mhm.
happening
Yes.
and it has an impact. I study psychology. I worked in a prison. I worked in a sex offender prison. And most of the men who are in the prison for sex offender cases, most of them have been molested
Hmm.
or raped.
Yes. Yep.
So we keep like,
It's a cycle.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
How do we break it? How do we talk about it? How do you suggest men talk about it? Because it's going to start with them.
That's a deep one, P. I gotta be honest. That's a deep one. I don't. Um, I think if you have the trust built with someone, um, and you know, I mean, the concern is you don't always know what how the other person is going to respond if you share something that intimate and that painful with them.
Right.
Um, and so I don't know if it's a black and white answer. That, to be honest with you,
Okay.
I don't know if it's a black and white answer to
Right.
say should you share that with um, you know, women. I think if you know that you're having some struggles, some challenges, I think that where it starts at is self-awareness,
Very much.
right? That's where it starts at, being self-aware and knowing, oh, I got some stuff here that I need to work out. Maybe it's, you know, it's affecting my relationships. I think that's where it starts, and then from there you can decipher if you want to share that with your significant other or your partner. So
Is it considered healthy if they do share it and both of them are able to talk about it and the woman shared the issues that they had? Is that considered healthy?
I would say so, PA, especially because I'm a married man and me and my wife, we value the communication in our marriage. So I believe that if you open up in that way, it's an opportunity, or be vulnerable in that way, it's an opportunity for you and your spouse to grow closer. I believe it creates a wedge if it's something that's not talked about, and then it manifests itself in other ways. So I believe it's important to share those things if you are planning on being a married person. Now, if you're just hanging out with somebody, it's your choice.
That's a
But
great point.
That's a great point.
But like, if you're going into a marriage, that's a real commitment, and I'm in support of all brothers to follow that commitment. I think it's one of the best things against oppression is a black married powerful family. So I really support brothers who decide to do that, to take that step. It's a big commitment.
Wow. Going to the board, Doug Sims says these type of conversations are definitely needed. Thanks to the GOAT, the photography there, my man. Will Robeson, he said, I have a therapist. I didn't realize how traumatized I was until I started seeing one.
Bingo.
Wow. Now
That's
I have
huge.
tools that have helped me cope with some things.
Bingo.
We need to be just as concerned with our mental health as we are with our physical health.
You hit
I've
it
been
right on
there.
the head. You hit it
Amen.
right
I
on the
could
head, Will.
contest that. I had to see one back in the day, still, if needed. When my mother
100%.
passed, I had to go see a psychologist. I know it was a very, very deep time for me. And I definitely can relate how therapists have helped me, make sense of
Navigate.
things.
Yeah, and
know?
it's huge because
Yeah.
I always share how I always, I don't mind self-disclosing. That's what we call it in the therapeutic world, like sharing our own stuff.
Right.
I see a therapist maybe once or twice a month. Just even though I don't think there's anything wrong per se, but just for the maintenance, being able to talk through things that like I can't talk to anybody else about, and it's helped me tremendously. Shout out to my therapist.
That's good. It's
yeah.
good to hear, man. So even therapists get therapy.
Get therapists, yeah.
Right.
100%.
Got to.
No shame. I always tell people
shame.
that. Like I proudly tell people like, yeah, I go once or twice a month. So
Before we go, the event coming up next month, go ahead and recap what day, what time. Should people just pull up? Should they call you? Should they inbox you?
You can inbox me. We started a Black Man Heal Facebook group last year, and we're also going to do a Father's Day brunch. So beforehand. But inbox me. Show up June 21st from 5 to 7. We'll have food. And just get prepared for good conversation, man. We're gonna have a great time, and we're gonna really share that space with one another.
Yes, sir.
Going back to the board, Jabril Ali down in Orlando, Florida says, good talk, Paul. Men health is vital and not enough talked about. Amen. And we got some young, good brothers here who are therapists. Privately, I'm sure if you want to, we'll put the link up for you, Jabril. Thank you, man. If they want to reach out to y'all, how can they find y'all?
You can find me on Facebook at Dave Davis Jr. And I'm also my Instagram is worldwide_Dave.
What about you, Flurry?
Best way to contact me is through email at flurry.jack@gmail.com. FLUARRY.jack@gmail.com.
All right. Got to have you guys back, man. Always good.
Appreciate you.
I
PA.
really appreciate what you guys are doing. This conversation. And
thanks for having us too. I wanted to make sure that you know that. Thanks
oh
for
my
giving
God,
us the
man.
platform.
We can't have a radio station. We can't talk about Black mental health problems. We got to shut it down. I'm honored to have you guys.
Yeah.
More important than the politicians, this is it. This is the real work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is the real work going on right here with you guys, with all these Black men that's going to be in the room, allowing themselves to be vulnerable and healing. Oof. Man, y'all, if y'all need donations, y'all want to donate to some causes, this is a cause to donate to.
I would definitely look for donations, for food and stuff, because generally I don't share it, but I usually come out and pay for everything on my own out of my own pocket. So, but I would definitely take some donations if possible. So
there you go. Jabril Ali said we need that here, but we'll rewatch for info. Love the homies for building better men. That's a good brother down in Orlando, Florida. Thank you. Maybe they can come down there and do it. These young brothers don't mind traveling.
Oh, not at all. Not at all.
Love to travel.
Right.
We just talked about it.
We were just talking about that.
All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to 103.7 The Beat going.